welcome, one and all. We have adopted the acronym MGM because, well, it's just a well-known hashtag. I mean, not that it has anything to do with what we're doing here.
It has everything to do with what
Everything,
we're doing.
okay.
Yeah.
Rob, do you remember MGM? Do not look behind you.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it?
MarketAbilities
Yes.
by Growing Media.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
My first thought went to Metro Goldwyn and Mayer,
Okay.
or Meyer, however
right.
you pronounce it.
Yes,
I was
absolutely.
actually going to say it could stand for Market Grow Make, or Make Grow Market.
Wow.
That
That
took
could be
it
a
way
good
too
campaign.
That's a great campaign, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Write it down.
Yes. All right. Well, we have around the table. I'm Angie Wyatt.
I'm Rob.
Prescott.
And Lucas.
Yes. Okay. Great. Well, we're here as part of this podcast to share something that's meaningful that might benefit our listeners and our viewers.
Why are you looking at me?
Because I wonder if you came prepared today.
Not even a little bit.
Okay, wait. Did I say that out loud?
It's okay. It's not even a swear
I'll
word.
bleep it out.
Bleep, bleep. Okay.
Kid show.
Kids show, absolutely. Do kids listen to podcasts? Oh, they do. My son goes to sleep listening to Rogan.
Actually, I
Well,
think
that is
there's-
not a kid's podcast.
It's
Not
only
even a little.
17. Is it really bad?
No, well,
I-
I'd say his guests make it like sometimes worse.
Raunchy.
Because he pulls
There
in
are
like
there are some weird personal questions that do happen in
It's
the,
not
in
like
the Joe
Howard
Rogan.
Stern or anything.
No.
no.
Great.
It's like Joe Rogan kind of pulls people on that could be on kind of controversial topics.
Okay.
So it's really Joe's just leading the interview, and their personality is kind of what makes it raunchy.
Okay. All right. Great.
And I mean, Joe's a little raunchy too.
Yeah.
Is he?
I mean, he
Just like a little bit. I mean, he's an announcer for boxing, so
Yeah.
he's kind of
You
He's
know-
also
what
the
was it?
host of Fear Factor.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yes.
Fear Factor
Right.
is kind of a raunchy show in itself.
Okay. Well, I read something this week that he's really good at what he does, but part of it is the predictability. People know what he will say, but it's just the interesting comments coming from his guests and the way that he's able to set them up.
yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
which is kind of cool because I think that's why people come back, and that's why his episodes are so long. They're like 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, it's crazy.
For one, or does he record like 3 and 4 hours and then releases them in hour increments?
No, he releases like full 2 or 3 hour episodes. Him and Tim Ferriss both do that, and it's
Yeah.
insane because and if you like what's going on, it's actually easy to listen to, but it's only if you like the content.
If
you don't
you're
like the content,
multitasking,
yeah.
too. That's back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, but
last episode.
there are also different kinds of podcast listeners too. Like some people who want a short little snippet of 30 minutes so they can just listen to it all, and other people who are like they're on their drive and they get to where they're going. They're in an hour into a 2-hour long podcast. They stop and then they're going to pick it up whenever they leave again. That's what I always do.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly
I always try to save my long podcasts for drives.
Right.
Okay.
And then my short podcast is what I listen to on the daily.
Yeah,
Right.
when I'm going back and forth from here in Chicago, I just put on really long podcasts. Usually I like true crime or something like that because they can put it over like 3 or 4 episodes.
Great.
But
Okay.
yeah, when
I
I'm
like
here,
to listen to haunted stories.
ooh, those are good too.
Those are really good.
What is wrong with the human mind where we're just like, let's listen to podcasts about murder and haunted things
It's
and scary.
It's things that like actually there's a link that it's stuff that we don't fully grasp or understand because we're like functioning in a society where those are people that can't function in a society, and so they've created this rules that they act on.
Yeah.
And us as like regular like functioning people, we're like, why are they doing that? Which is like, why is the biggest question of everything. So
Right.
that's why so many people.
Or how?
Yeah.
And they say if you can't comprehend it, you aren't capable of doing it.
That's it. Yeah, it's exactly right.
Did you know this?
I don't know if I
asked
agree
this-
with that.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know if I agree with
I
that
asked
either.
a state's attorney one time, a long
Like they know anything.
like they know anything. A lawyer, no. I said, how in the world? He said, there's a reason you can't understand how they could do it is because you aren't capable of doing it. Still
and
don't
that's-
believe it?
And that right there is why we have a job. Because
Right.
normal people can be great at coming up with a product, but they don't know how to market it.
Oh,
And-
that was a good little segue right there. That was really good.
Yes, that is good, but I think they also choose not to. I think that's what Rob
Oh,
is kind of thinking
choices,
too.
okay.
Is like people like it's not like they can't comprehend it; they choose not to comprehend it because they focus on other things.
Right.
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
Yeah.
That was it?
That's where my head's at.
Yeah.
Like
Perfect.
if there's something that I don't want to do, or if there's something that I don't want to like try to learn how to do, I'll learn how to do something else. That doesn't mean that I can't learn how to do that the first thing.
That's
Okay.
perfect. Yeah, I mean, that's why your toolbox is the way it is. It's stuff that you also partially enjoy,
Right.
and you see value in it because maybe it meshes together with other things that you do.
Right, and I stay away from the things that I don't enjoy.
Hey, that's, I
Man,
mean,
we are really like we're just circling the block, aren't we? There's like a lot going on here, so we're going to kind of dive in. The reason that we're here, and hopefully you get something out of it. We're really encouraging people this year to go for what you want. If you truly enjoy what you do, you don't go to work. I know that sounds cliche, but we determined, in the last podcast that you can work for something, and if your hobby just happens to become your job, that's not such a bad thing, right? So we want people
Sometimes.
to craft a growth-oriented mindset, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
For everything they do. That could be personal or business, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How are you crafting that growth-oriented mindset this year, Rob?
Well, I've been growing for the last. Well, actually, shrinking
You've
for
been
the last
shrinking.
year.
Yes, he's lost like. Are you like at 150 now? Let's go.
Almost like 149, I think.
Oh,
150.
my
It is,
gosh.
yes, in 1 year.
That's
Everybody.
huge, man.
That is fantastic.
You've lost a person.
Yeah,
you lost to
great.
Prescott. There's a Prescott lost somewhere.
Plus 30.
and we don't need to find them.
Plus,
Yeah, so I've been for this next year. I haven't really considered like what I'm going to be focusing on. Well, no, actually, no. Let me start that over.
you've shared it. We were on an 11-hour ride a couple of days ago, going to an assignment, and you shared what you were doing this
Oh,
year.
you'll have to remind me then because I don't remember what it is.
wait a minute, Rob, how did you
Rob
drive?
probably talked a lot on that whole trip,
did.
and he was like, "I don't remember what I
don't
said."
It
At
was-
hour
that
6.
part.
we
Yeah.
worked for 19 hours over 2
Dude.
days.
Yeah.
So I don't remember anything that I said
We
or
take
did.
care of our clients.
But
no
I'm pretty
doubt.
sure it was honest or true. What was it? What was it?
That you focus on, you know what's required of you, but you also know how to keep that balance in your mind that you're never going to give too much to any one thing. Like you're not going to work in lieu of relationships, your
Yeah.
friends,
Oh,
your
yeah.
family.
My friends and my family will always come first. And
Well, we like to think that we're a little bit of both. I mean,
Rob.
well, I'm not saying you're not my friends.
insensitive.
But I'm talking about like the work, and I don't know how you personally, Angie, feel about this, but my work will come second to my relationships and my life, and that's a lot of times that gets me. I don't want to say it gets me in trouble, but it's like it's a different mindset than a lot of people have because they're like, you have to work to advance to get.
Well, you already feel that way. You know that you have to. You've started investing in the market. You know that you have to take on certain projects. But Rob's never going to be that one that will stay and not go to the party. He will not stay at the office, and not go to the.
Well, I can't say never. Like it's
have.
probably 50-50. Like there are
Yeah.
times when I'll stay at the studio working until 8 o'clock in the morning to get the project done.
Right.
Overnight till 8 o'clock in the morning.
It's
And
because
then
you started at 8 p.m. like instead of just the regular work.
well,
day.
sometimes
Not always, but yeah.
not always, but yeah. And then other times I will choose to I'll be like, all right, I'm going to put this project on hold. I have plans with my friends. I'm going to go do that and then come back and finish the project.
Just know that you put in a full day. Know that when you're going to hang out with friends and family, you can be proud of what you've accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that.
I think we were talking about balance on the last episode.
Yeah.
One big thing for me is I always make sure my mornings are for me and for no
I
one
love
else.
that. Yeah. And mornings like 6 a, right?
Yeah. I tend to wake up in between 5 and 6 most days. Obviously, if we're working until midnight or 3 or whatever in the morning, then I'll get up later. I'm not going to sacrifice my sleep because I've done that before. It's not worth it. It's
I
not
100%
worth it.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not worth it. And so I seclude my mornings for myself. And then, for example, I have dedicated times each week, unless we're on a work trip or something big, that it's like Tuesdays and Thursdays are dedicated to my girlfriend and her daughter. It's like we have dinner those nights.
I love that.
Pretty much no matter what, and unless, like I said, something big is happening.
Just
or
wait till it
our-
becomes 7 days. Will she then still be your girlfriend and your daughter?
No, She'll be my
Your wife and your
Yeah,
daughter.
yeah.
And if you like them the same,
Right.
it'll be great though.
Yeah.
You're a good partner.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. That's
Wait,
been
where have
our-
I heard that before?
Yeah, last year. That was a 2021 saying.
Yeah, it
no
was
doubt.
some tall guy. Anyways.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to be great. But, I do think that we want the balanced person. I mean, I want all of you to be balanced if you're going to be in my life. Brandon brought up last podcast that you need sleep to be a normal person, to be a happy person. We found out in the first podcast of 2022, coffee was making him irritable.
Really?
Yeah, so
gave it up.
That makes sense.
I haven't had coffee since the last day of 2021.
Fist bump.
And even now, like, I can't drink this. Like, I've made it like a quarter of the way through, and
It's
I'm
only
like,
because Rain's a
I don't know if I
sponsor.
want
He's
it
keeping it
that much anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's weird, but and then I just feel good, man. Like so much
awesome.
better.
Remember when you were asking me, like when I stopped, because back when
Yeah.
I started losing weight, I stopped drinking coffee. And you were like, how do you function throughout the day? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I just do.
Yeah, and like I still have caffeine because like my pre-workout has caffeine in it.
Right.
I'm still drinking tea that has.
Oh, no,
caffeine.
that makes you feel good. I like that pre-workout stuff.
Yeah, and the pre-workout that I have doesn't have like a ton of caffeine. It's
Okay.
no offense to the Southern Illinois brand that I'm not going to mention their name. They have so much caffeine in their pre-workout, I can't handle it.
I like see things when I take that stuff.
yeah, that's
but I like
it's
it.
crazy.
So
I
this-
don't like it.
So I know we're not trying to talk about this too much, but this is a funny story. So the first time I ever took pre-workout, they gave me one scoop in a bag. Or no, sorry, half a scoop in a bag. And I took half of that. So I took essentially a quarter of a scoop of pre-workout.
Did you snort it or just
No, I put it in water.
sorry?
and
Inappropriate.
Yeah, that's
totally
fine.
inappropriate.
I put it
You're
in
gonna have
water
to
and I drank
bleep
it.
That,
Try it.
bleep that out too.
And I was like, as like maybe 10, 15 minutes later, I was like, I can lift the world. But I've never taken it since then because I
that's
don't.
funny.
So first
don't wanna
time
rely on
I ever had it,
stimulants.
no one told me. No one talked to me about it. I did
man.
a full
Oh,
effing
no.
scoop.
Wow,
gosh.
you're gonna have to bleep that
And-
too.
and-
This is a family
No, I
show.
said effing.
Oh, you did say effing.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
fine.
Angie replaced it in her head with
I
the real
did.
word.
Yeah, and I showed up here, and the old tall guy that used to work here.
Yeah.
Marcus, he's a cool dude.
I don't want
That's
to mention.
you
his
didn't want to
name.
mention his
No,
name?
I didn't.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
he didn't die or anything.
Anyways, I showed up and I'm like, dude, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like with me. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I took that pre-workout.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, so? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I am like losing it right now.
Right.
And he's like, how much did you take? A full scoop? And he's like, you shouldn't have done
No.
that.
He's also the dude that brought in those capsules that time, and we took them, and he
makes
was,
you sweat.
Oh, it made
Yeah.
me vomit and
Yeah.
have a headache, and I was so mad at him, like
Yeah.
out of commission.
Wait
for
a minute, we
couple
just
days.
take random pills now?
We do. I mean, if it's a
Yeah.
client, we're trying out their products.
Yeah, it's
we'll
worth
let
it.
you know if it works. if
I
it
did that
doesn't.
once a long time ago where I was working at this like data entry place and I was falling asleep because like I didn't know how to go to bed early. So I went to this girl and I was like, man, I just cannot stay awake. And she goes, well, here, take these. And I was like, okay, cool.
What?
So she
Did it
handed
come
me.
from a prescription bottle?
No.
Okay.
no.
Okay.
She
Well,
handed
that may
me,
actually be worse.
Yes.
She handed me 2 pills and she was like, here, take these. So I went and sat down and I took both of them.
Oh my gosh.
Because, anytime you take, Tylenol, Advil, whatever, you're going to take 2 pills typically. So I was like, okay, cool. Because I'd never, ever taken any kind of pills in my life except for like regular medicine like aspirin or Tylenol. So I took these 2 pills and I'm sitting there working and all of a sudden I'm reaching for the keyboard and I'm shaking. And I'm like, I
Dude.
felt jittery. I had no control. Like, I didn't have control of my fine motor skills. So I went to her and I was like, what is happening to me? And she goes, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, I took those pills. And she goes, this look of terror. She goes, did you take both of them? I'm like, yeah, like anytime you take a pill, you usually take 2 of them. And she goes, no, you should have only taken 1 of them.
Oh, no.
I think they were probably like some kind of diet pills or caffeine pills or
Stimulants,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. And I felt like complete garbage. So now, if anybody ever offers me any kind of medicine, I don't take it.
So that lesson is, I mean, it is tough.
Rob, I
because-
believe there's
yeah,
a company called Dare that does that.
no doubt.
To keep a kid off
Jeez,
drugs.
no doubt. I mean, yeah. I mean, what was that lesson? To only take one or never to take,
Don't take
strange-
stuff you don't know what it is.
That's a great lesson.
Like there was, I had a boss a long time ago. He offered
YOLO.
me, YOLO, YOLO for a very short time. You can keep that up. So there was a boss of mine who offered me a pill one time, and it was in a prescription bottle, and it was like Tylenol 3. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. I went back into my room where I worked, and I chucked it in the trash. I'm like, I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm not going to take it.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know what Tylenol 3 does to you. I don't know anything about it. Plus,
Right.
I don't know 100% sure that it was Tylenol 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah,
Well,
Should have taken it.
I don't know. I mean, we can talk more about it if they're going to sponsor. Otherwise, we're not going to mention any more of those brands. But we should get back to the work at hand, and that is to help people grow their business, to scale up, to have a better mindset, to enjoy what you do, because you do spend 75% of your life at work, Rob. In Rob's case,
mine's
he's
more
about
like 50 to 60%.
55. You've actually increased. So, hey,
Recently,
right
I have.
there, baby. Right
I worked
there.
like 93 hours
Some
one week.
crazy stuff. I'm like, go home. I mean, you've exceeded what you can make here.
Well, I just had a bunch of projects I had to get done.
You did.
Those
But
deadlines.
we also want to give you, little things to take away, and we want you to realize that you are capable and deserving of success, whatever that means to you. And success is defined so many different ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think success is literally whatever you make it, right?
It's subjective.
Because it could be, somebody just wants to make $100,000 a year or something, and then they're great. But other people, want to make $1 million a year, and then or whatever, or maybe it's not money at all. Maybe it's like, hey, I want to grow this business to this thing and impact this many lives.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Or you want to have more relationships, so you feel like a fuller individual.
That's my goal is
Dude, you already have too much of a social circle. I mean,
Yeah,
you
geez, Rob.
he's blocked off most evenings. Like, Rob's out.
Yeah, on the
out.
calendar it says Rob unavailable most of the
What
nights.
is that? Like, how many game nights can you have? Right?
Not enough, apparently.
Well, Rob accepted the challenge.
Well, that's what success means to me, is like building successful relationships with people, and it's not so much like working on things or building something like a business or whatever. My successes are like actually inspiring people and making people feel like they're loved and cared for, and that you want to spend time. Like, I have friends who are like, I don't feel like I spend enough time with people. Like, I feel very lonely, and I'm like, well, let's do something. Let's do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. That's a great lesson. And I think that makes you stronger as an individual. And that's something that I put at the forefront of my mind this year is sometimes you are tired. You do work a lot and you just want to kind of, retreat, and you want to pull back and be a little introverted. And I used to call it sort of refueling. But I am finding, and I'm going to challenge myself to do this more this year, is no, if you have some downtime, call a friend, go see them. Even if they're in another state, if you haven't seen them in a while and you know that you have something great with that person and you're a better person when you're around them, go be with them.
Yeah.
Make time for that.
That actually brings up a really good point, like to surround yourself with people who make you a better person.
Amen.
Yeah, 100%.
6 degrees, was it? What is it?
Well,
The average of the
Oh,
six
that's
closest.
a
5
connection. Yeah,
That's the
the
connection,
laws
right?
of
Two different
average.
things, yeah.
So, which actually, that's huge, because when I came in here, I wasn't an underachiever. I was just hyper focused on like a couple of things. I saw everybody here with like unique toolkits, and now I have my own unique toolkit.
Yes, you do.
It's after, I would say, probably like a solid like 4 or 5 months with everybody here.
Awesome.
So
Is that because we're too hard on you?
No.
We expect things that...
I came from like a group of people that like we would do a lot of online gaming and stuff, and it was like more or less like an elitist mentality that they had. Like, if you weren't putting up your numbers, you didn't get to go and do all the fun stuff with them, which
Right.
is like kind of shaped me with like a really rough outlook on a lot of stuff. And so I can take a lot harsher criticism than I think a lot of people think that I can handle, but I enjoy it because it's what's going to make me better in the long
no
run.
doubt. No
So,
doubt.
but to go back to that, that's I also came from a lifestyle that preached college. And I don't like not college at all. Like, there's a lot of good stuff, but I also think that trades are a bit better right now.
Man, it's so true with this generation. I mean, my son's grappling with it. He goes, Mom, do I really go spend your, life savings when he already has that mindset? And of course, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say yes until there may be another opportunity in your life, or, Steve Jobs, we know that story. I mean, he kept going and he didn't know why. And he wanted to attend those classes that he could learn something, in and not necessarily declare. And I think he took a calligraphy class or something, hence the fonts.
Oh, yeah.
On computers and such.
That sounds like me. Just like, I'm like, oh, that looks like something interesting. Let me go try that out, and I'll go like take calligraphy for no reason. It's not in my major or anything, and I'm just like, I want to go do that.
Yeah.
I would say probably the best thing to do for anybody that's looking to figure out what to do after high school is go and get an associate's in business, because that opens you up to the world with just about anything.
That is a great idea.
Or if you're in an area where there's like a lot of different businesses, just shadow some people.
Right.
There's a lot of people. You can do it within reason, the
Yes.
medical field. You can
Yes.
do it in most of your not fine motor skill jobs. Your
the technical jobs.
Yeah, your
and
technical
yeah,
so
yeah.
that right there, that's a whole entire way to just kind of like, oh, hey, I didn't have to spend $10,000
Right,
a semester to figure out I don't like this.
Knowledge is power. Make
Yeah,
sure you reach out and get it. So.
I actually think that you can. I think the best course of action, especially right now, this is just personal opinion, is finding somebody who's doing it like the best, who's doing it
That's
the
right.
best. And do they have a course? Do they have
right.
something that they created? Can you somehow
Could you pay
mimic
them
that?
for their time?
Yeah, exactly.
Could you do that? Yeah.
For example, I know a guy in the music industry who never went to college, but what he did is he called the professors at Berkeley College in LA, and he said, "Hey, I want private lessons."
Mm-hmm.
And so he took private lessons. He would fly. He was from North Carolina. He flew out to LA like every other week.
His expense. His expense.
Yes, his expense. He paid for their hours on their personal lessons.
That's right.
Got the same education that you would get at Berkeley, but paid like significantly less.
Oh, wow, that's
while
smart.
he was flying back and forth.
That's smart.
Dude, so I did the same thing. A journalist for 20 years, and I started that whole children's book and being an author and a merchandiser, and I called. And I think I identified myself. I'm not sure. But I didn't know how receptive they would be. But the inventors and creators of Elf on a Shelf.
Oh,
You know,
that's
I said,
cool.
how did you do what you do? And it's a mom. She was a former educator and her daughter. And they talked about the importance of going into classrooms and just getting your name out there. And so I did all those things. And then obviously we know where Elf on the Shelf landed. And
Right.
Timmy the Tractor landed in a barn, you know, because of the spiel and growing media. But you're so right. If you've seen somebody who is doing it and doing it well, I promise you, you could probably do it better down the road. Learn from that individual, and then that is so good.
So
powerful.
I actually did that as well when I worked at the TV station that I used to work at. There was a whole production department, and I worked in master control. And I would actually leave out of master control and go sit down with an Emmy award-winning motion graphic artist.
Oh yeah.
And I would literally sit there, and he would stop his work to show me new things. And like it was mostly in After Effects, and then he started showing me stuff in 3D. But I would get in trouble. I would get both of us in trouble because I would sit there for like 4 hours, which is half my shift, and just talk to him and listen to him and learn from what he
So
had to
smart.
teach me.
So smart. And you know, you said the other day, and it's true. We don't want this to be true, but this is the world we live in. And Brandon brought this up on our road trip this week. The internet will teach you anything.
Oh yeah.
You
That's
know,
how I started my whole entire career. Was
YouTube.
I learned everything on the internet
Yeah.
back in 2003 is when I started.
Motion and editing and Premiere and
I
Final
actually
HTML.
Cut, HTML.
Skillshare. I think what was it, like $8 a month,
I've
and
never looked into it.
what it is,
Not
it's like
sponsored by Skillshare.
it's like premium.
be.
Yeah, it's like premium YouTube, and they provide you with all your files that you need, so you can follow along step by step. I learned so much for $8 a month.
Wow.
And I applied it in my college projects and everything, and that kind of goes back to like most of it is at your own expense to
Sure.
figure out how to brand yourself. But yeah, that right there, the internet.
I think if you want to be independent and you want to have your own business or freelance or whatever, you have to just make that path. No one's going to create it for you. And that's why I don't think school is almost necessary for if you want to own your own business.
A little disclaimer. College, a university, that's also part of a life path.
Yeah,
You know, you
correct.
learn things in college and at the university that could be useful or helpful, or perhaps that's where you're going to find your husband or your wife. Or we're not saying, you know, not to go to college or university, but you're right. If you've attended some classes, you didn't feel like you were getting what you wanted, maybe you're already more of a forward-thinking individual. You're already super smart like Rob, and when he enters these classes, he winds up
go
teaching
on.
them. He winds up teaching them. And, you know, you always want to be learning. And if you're not challenged, I think that's a better way to say it, too. If you are not being challenged, you might need to find that other path, or that, you know, make your own path, baby. Go for it.
Yeah, you always need that slightly above, like I don't know how to word it, but it's like a little bit of discomfort. Mm-hmm. Like you always need a little bit of discomfort
yeah.
to get to the next level. If there's too much discomfort, you won't do it.
That's
Right?
true.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But if there's just like that little bit of discomfort,
It's
you'll
the
be like, okay,
Goldilocks zone.
I can actually see myself achieving that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're not being challenged at all, like if there's no discomfort, then you're just stagnant and you're
Gosh, that's
content.
Complacent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm going to listen to this podcast. This is pretty good stuff.
Well,
right?
currently we are listening to
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Right. Sometimes I have a problem with retention, though. I might go back and listen to it again.
Yeah, I can't recall what we were talking about 5 minutes ago.
But if you if you
Most
like
people
what
don't.
you've been listening to, we're going to continue to do these MGM podcasts in 2022. We have many contributors, varying skill sets, and hopefully you can take away something. And if nothing else, just like maybe Brandon's creepy voice. Brandon, come on in. I mean, he was just waiting for.
I don't
a
think
shot.
Brandon can make his way through.
Brandon,
Yeah, there's a big
step
tripod
over.
in the way.
Way to go, Brandon. You locked yourself out of the room. See?
Maybe he
You
did
gotta-
it intentionally.
He's got to always be willing and ready for your. This could be your big shot, man. Your big break.
He's coming.
Oh, he's coming. He's making his way
walk
over.
under.
I wish I had. Oh, I.
He's
do.
not as
Hang on.
limber as you, Prescott.
Hang on, I
I
gotta
know.
take a picture. See, you never get to see that side. He's trying to step over. Yeah, that's really good. It's not gonna make.
What
it.
if you
Okay.
just like crawled under the tripod
All right,
like
listen.
that?
This is a reason
Oh,
right
get it,
now. Oh
get it.
my gosh!
Oh, he's going.
Here he
Oh,
comes.
he's
Oh my
going.
gosh! Here he comes. Oh wait, I bumped my mic. Oh yeah. There. Wait. Okay. No. Okay. Okay.
You guys, we're a video
This
production
was-
company.
we
Okay,
are
I was
a
going to say,
video
why is nobody
production.
shooting video?
I did take a picture. What the heck was that? Okay.
I did the creepy voice in the last one.
Yeah, a lot of it. A lot of the creepy. You came over here for that.
Okay, crawl back now.
Okay. Oh my gosh, the things.
Look at
we
that
do.
crawl of shame.
Yeah, that's
Crawl of shame.
We're gonna have to blur out the B crack though.
I didn't get the B crack. You're good, Brandon. I didn't get it. All right.
I did. I'll put it on my OnlyFans tonight.
That's
There
good,
you
guys.
go.
That's
No,
good.
I was talking about it on her phone because she was shooting video of you.
All right, but
Look at him. He's so distraught.
if you like these podcasts and you want one of your own, we can actually hook you up here.
Heck yeah, we can.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the perfect studio for a podcast. We got the killer wood table.
Man.
We got the vibes in here.
The very nice microphones.
Very nice
Customizable.
microphones.
Very nice
Customizable.
headphones.
We can have
Yes.
up to 4 people, so you can have up to 3 guests with you.
People can
and
sit in your
just have a
lap. I
great
don't
time.
care. I mean, yeah. Psh,
Di-
whatever.
dibs.
Yeah, it's true.
Dibs. All right. So, anybody have any closing remarks before we get on out of here? We have exceeded our time, by the way. Thanks, Rob.
That's what I do.
I wasn't going to touch it because it makes noise when you touch it.
Yeah, but we'd rather hear you.
The mic.
That's what she said.
Okay. Psst. Stop. That was sick. You're not going there. This is a family program.
Right, with
I
all, with
laughed
all the
at
bleeps
it.
that happened earlier in the
Kid show.
episode.
Totally. Kids show. It's a kid show.
Kid show.
Yeah, on YouTube. Check that box. 4 kids.
Hi, kids.
No. All right. If that's your closing comments, that's pretty weak.
Oh, I don't have any closing comments.
None.
Balance and boundaries.
Balance
They
and
they
boundaries.
coincide.
I like that.
So wherever you set your boundary is where you set your balance.
Love it.
Remember, just outside your boundaries is growth.
Oh, seek and find. How about that?
More inspiring words.
All right. And that's it. That's a wrap. Bye.